Greetings everyone, welcome to my video presentation about the Mayas. Long before the arrival of the European, the Mayas built an advanced civilization, creating complex calendars, building enormous stone cities in the jungle, and building a society with millions of citizens. Belize served as the heart of the ancient Mayan trade network, where vast quantities of copper, jade, obsidian, shells, and quetzal feathers traveled for thousands of miles up and down Central America. After that, the civilization fell into decline for reasons that are still unclear. Some archaeologists believe that the climate change led to crop failure, flooding, or other natural disasters. What is known is that most of the biggest cities had been abandoned by the time the Spanish arrived in the 16th century, although the remaining of the Maya offered stiff resistance to the colonization. Today, the descendants of the Maya are an integral part of modern Belizean culture. The Yucatec Maya, who lived in northern Belize district of the Orinjuacan Corozal, arrived in the early 19th century following the Civil War in neighboring Mexico. The Mopan Maya, who inhabited the southern Toledo district of Belize, are largely from the eastern jungles of Petén region of Guatemala. The third group of Maya in Belize, the Quechua, had proudly preserved their ancient language, culture, foods, and tradition. Despite all these fascinating factors of the Mayan culture, today I would like to talk to you about the ancient architecture of the Mayas. So what kind of building or architecture did the Maya construct? Maya architecture is represented by monumental and non-monumental buildings. Monumental structures include temple, pyramid, palaces, ball court, astronomical building, causeway, and dams. Non-monumental architecture include homesteads, underground storage chambers, and agriculture terraces. Many sites with some of the Maya's finest architectural work are found here in Belize. Let's visit some of these sites, shall we? Altunja. Altunja is located 34 miles north from Belize City and 10 miles from the Caribbean Sea. Altunja is the easiest Maya ruin to get to. Occupied for over 1,200 years until the classic Maya collapsed around 900 AD, Altunja population peaked at about 10,000, about triple current population within the 20-mile radius of the site today. Trade was likely an important aspect of the daily life here, as the site is one of the most accessible by sea. The core of the site consists of 2 plazas and 13 structures. Although over 500 buildings have been found associated with Altunja, the core structures have been extensively restored, and a magnificent tomb was discovered beneath one of these structures. Dating from approximately 550 AD, the Temple of the Green Tomb is a burial chamber containing jade pendants, beads and earrings, stingray spine, obsidian rings, and jaguar hinds. The most exciting find so far has been the remain of the Mayan Codex. Sunantunich. The ruin of Sunantunich is one of Belize's most popular Mayan sites, located about 18 miles west from Belize City in Cayo district near the town of San Ignacio and bordered with Guatemala. Sunantunich is most famously known for the large temple known as El Castillo, which is more than 130 feet tall, making it the second tallest building in Belize. The original architects of Sunantunich designed the city around El Castillo temple, which lies in the exact center. Once a prosperous city-state during the classic Mayan era, Sunantunich once was the home of 200,000 people, equivalent to 2/3 of Belize's current population. The name Sunantunich, a Maya construct meaning stone woman, is a modern one, as the original name of the city had been lost. Local Maya named the fitting ruin Stone Woman because the site was regularly reported to be haunted by the ghost of a woman, usually depicted as being dressed entirely in white with red glowing eyes. Abandoned by the Maya nearly 1,000 years ago for unknown reason, Sunantunich was claimed by the jungle until archaeologists in the colonial period began conducting excavation in the mid-1890s. Today, visitors approach the site by crossing over the Mopan River on a hand-operated ferry and then climbing up the limestone ridge that served as a foundation for the city. Santa Rita. Santa Rita dates back to at least 2000 BC. These ruins offer a different perspective on the Mayan culture. Santa Rita was an European contact point and a hub for traders traveling from Mexico and Guatemala. So the artifacts left behind are unusual and include jade, gold earring, pottery, ceramic, and agricultural tools. Structure 7 is the tallest of all structures at Santa Rita, and one of the only few that still exists. It once rose 30 meters above the plaza surface and formed the northern buildings and focal point for this group, which also contains structure 40 and 42. Cajalpech. Cajalpech was settled around 1000 BC and abandoned by 800 AD. The site consists of 7 plazas and over 30 structures including temple, residential buildings, ball court, altars, and a sweat house. It all situated in just 2 acres. A royal burial chamber was found in one of the structures. Inside the tomb, a ruler had been laid to rest with all the necessities for the afterlife, including shell and bone ornaments, pottery vessel, obsidian blades, jade objects, and most impressive being a jade and shell mosaic mask. El Pilar. El Pilar is a 100-acre Mayan site situated 12 miles northwest from San Ignacio in a small village of Bullet Tree Falls. The abundance of the natural water source in this vicinity is the possible origin of the name El Pilar, because Pila in Spanish is watering basin. A particularly intriguing feature is a causeway that extends from the eastern part of the ruin across the country border into Guatemala. Thus far, 12 pyramids and 25 plazas have been found at El Pilar. This is triple the number found in nearby sites such as Sunantanich and Cajalpech. The site is believed to be occupied in 500 BC and 1000 AD periods. A variety of residential structures were discovered during the excavations, in addition to the elite household compounds and ceremonial structures. Caracol. Caracol is one of the most interesting and well-preserved ancient Maya sites in Belize. It is far bigger than Belize City. Caracol once held up to 180,000 people at the height of the city power. Caracol dominated the ancient Maya geopolitical world, variously allying and fighting against other city-states, including Naranjo and the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Tikal that is currently located just across the border in the neighboring Guatemala. The most famous building in Caracol is the Sky Place, an enormous pyramid that contained 4 palaces and 3 temples. The Sky Place is still the tallest building in the country at 141 feet high. Other important buildings and items discovered in Caracol include 24 religious altars, 3 large ball courts, 5 big plazas, 24 carved stelaes, reservoir, causeways, and very advanced astronomical observatory. A total of 35,000 laser buildings have been identified in Caracol along with more than 100 tombs. Then we have Cerros. Cerros is a small site located right on the Belize coast. Beginning as a small village in 300 BC, development followed, and about 250 years later, it grew quickly into a major city. Perched on a small delta in the northern Belize, Cerros was abandoned early and never reoccupied. There are 2 pre-classic sites with no later addition, which makes it an important addition to the Maya record. Cerros contained 5 temples, several plazas, ball court, and a system of waterway. Due to its location at the mouth of the New River, Cerros was a regional center of active trade. Now we have Lamanai. The name Lamanai means submerged crocodile, but you won't have to wade into any water to see the multiple ages and stages of the Maya history here. Lamanai boasts the 3rd tallest Maya structure in Belize, called the High Temple, which stands 33 meters tall. Perhaps the most iconic feature of Lamanai is the Mass Temple. The mass feature on this temple is 4.2 meters high. It was built up from a limestone block that were mortared together and overlaid with a thin layer of lime plaster and finishing coat of stucco. This method of construction is usual in this Maya area where mass and other friezes were usually built up and modeled with plastered on stone block framework. Lamanai is a community with the longest history of the human habitation in Belize. It was settled around 900 BC and was still occupied up to 2,500 years later when Spanish missionary arrived to the site in 1544. During their almost century-long domination, the Spanish built two Ramada churches that were used in their effort to Christianize the site inhabitants. Eventually, in 1940, the Maya in several frontier towns rebelled against churches and villages throughout Belize. By the 1800s, investors began to sugar operate in Lamanai. The final site that I will be covering is the site of Labantun. Labantun is a late classic ceremonial center known for its unusual construction methods. Maya at this location employed dressing stone blocks and organic material, but they did not use mortar. As a result, pyramid and building disintegrated, which is how the site a mile away from San Pedro, Colombia, got its unusual name. Labantun was occupied in the mid to late classic period from about 730 to 890 AD when it was abandoned. Not much is known about Labantun, although speculation is that it had a military purpose because it was built at about 200 feet above sea level, and the center of the site is on a large artificial raised platform between two small rivers. Labantun is also believed to have been an administrative center of trade regulation, with nearby Liamput function as a center of religion, ceremony, and ritual. Population at Labantun is estimated to have been approximately 600 people, and the structures included 3 ball courts and 11 structures built around 5 plazas. Before I end this video right here, I would like to thank you guys for taking the time out to watch my video. May you guys enjoy the rest of your day.